Here from Washington, 24 hours from now, the President and First Lady will be putting on their tux, their gown, and heading out to those inaugural balls. Tonight, we wanted to know when this tradition began and why now so many of them. It wasn't called an inaugural ball, but George Washington did hold one 1 week after his inauguration in 1789. 300 guests. Our first president is said to have danced the minuet. The tradition of an inaugural ball officially began with James Madison, First Lady Dolly Madison hosting, a heavy cost at the time, $4 to get in. And while Dolly is said to have enjoyed the ball, her husband remarked, "I would much rather be in bed." In 1865, the ball following Lincoln's second inauguration, 4,000 dancing the waltz. And at midnight, oysters, roast beef, and lobster were served on a giant table. The New York Times reporting that table, soon a mess. Frightful to behold, in their words.
Washington turned out in all her splendor for the inaugural balls to be held in honor of the president.
After World War II, the idea of multiple inaugural balls. Dwight and Mamie Eisenhower dancing here at one of 4 different galas. This image shows the newly inaugurated President and Mrs. Kennedy leaving the White House for 5 balls in 1961. And who was waiting?
You make me feel so young.
Frank Sinatra, who would perform for them. Historians say JFK behind a tradition of inviting the famous to join the fanfare. More than 2 decades later, the Reagans dancing and dazzling the crowd with the salsa, and Lionel Hampton playing Tuxedo Junction. In 1989, an exuberant President George H.W. Bush and First Lady Barbara Bush. The song, "I Could Have Danced All Night." His son, George W. Bush, dancing with First Lady Laura Bush for just seconds, less than a minute on the floor at each ball they attended. The Clintons dancing to Make a Wish, and there was that saxophone moment. At his second inaugural, what was unforgettable was the number of inaugural balls that year, 14 of them. And 4 years ago, Beyoncé at her first performance for the first couple, 10 balls, and in between galas, an image of the Obamas riding in a golf cart, giving their feet a rest. And that moment in a freight elevator, the First Lady wrapped in her husband's jacket to keep warm.